Can Lad McConkey take us to the promised land this week? We're going to see. I listened to the advice last week. I know I'm going to get into it on this episode. Blades of Fades, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, AJ the Barber. And by the way, fresh fade by my man AJ tonight, right before we got here, man.
Yep. Second fade I did, and it was on him. I think it came out pretty good.
I will be a model any day,
you looking
bro.
fresh for a new episode of Blades and Fades.
Yo, man, I'm feeling all right, man. I'm feeling all right. I'm not receding, which is a good thing. No receding hairline. So we worked on some shape ups, and we're doing good. We're just going to get better, man. But one thing for sure is you're already excelling in the barber game, but also excelling in the fantasy football game because I don't know, man. You nailed a couple things last week, man.
I nailed the Dak Prescott take. I'm really happy about that because I knew this was going to be a game where he's going to throw a couple interceptions, one or two. You know this is a little preview. You know I hate quarterbacks against Denver. You should have listened to me. You would have beat me last week. By the way, I beat him in fantasy last week. He claims my team is not good and that it only matters in the end who wins. But
it only matters. Listen, you get a point for beating me, okay? And it's only because I didn't take your advice because I started Dak and got a 6 when Jordan Love was on my bench just throwing touchdowns at will to Tucker Kraft like it was nobody's business. Okay,
let's flip to the fade side though. That 40-year-old Joe Flacco is balling right now in Cincinnati. Another great take on my part. I knew he was gonna have another big game. You saw it last week. I mean, they're looking good. They're looking good. Their offense is a click right now.
What do you think you're feeling if you're Jake Browning right now? Because
horrible,
right? Horrible. And before we get into the blades and all for week 9, but I gotta ask, man, thinking about it, because here's an offensive line that couldn't block anybody. He was getting hit on the regular. Joe's got all the time in the world. What happened?
The O-line's blocking for Joe, but they must hate Jake Browning. So
something happened.
Yeah,
something happened. But let's get listen. Number one, though, shout out to Joe because the man continues to just get it done. We were talking about it on Sunday when we watched football all day together. But yeah, man, that was you called it. I get it, but we're gonna have to just cool you off a little bit. All right, it's new. Yeah. You're like one of those TikTok kids, okay? And you know what I'm talking about. But again, who we going with right off the bat? Week 9 now, right? We're week 9. Yeah. Where we going, man?
Let's start with Lad McConkey because you started with this episode. I mean, the Chargers passing attack elite. Justin Herbert's playing good. That whole offense playing good. You saw Quentin Johnston's little lack of production a little bit. I don't think that's an issue. Keenan Allen at his grown old age is still balling out there, and Lad McConkey's getting his reps now in. I mean, week 7 of 15 targets, and I don't know if that's a stat a lot of people are looking at right now, but I mean, the last 3 games, 9+ targets, I like that a lot. He isn't touchdown dependent. He'll get you at 15 points per game without a touchdown, like 5 catches on 100 yards, like 10 catches. Like it fluctuates, but you don't need that touchdown from Lad for him to have a good week.
That's a big deal, man. When you talk about touchdown dependency with a wide receiver in PPR, talking about Gatson out there is balling too in the tight end position. Vidal in the backfield, that team's starting to click, man. So I definitely like Lad.
A lot of it is hardball too. He really elevated that team as soon as he came in.
Yeah, he did. All you got to do is watch one of my TikToks who talked about Justin Herbert because of because of Jim Harbaugh, not John Harbaugh, but because of Jim Harbaugh. But go ahead, man. Who you got number 2?
I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you were smart like me, you would have kept him on your team because Cam Skadaboo, you got to feel for him. I mean, he was having a great season. Gruesome injury. I really do feel bad for him. He was a great player. But aside from that, you got to keep guys like this on your bench because you never know what's going to happen in the NFL, especially today. And I was smart with that. I kept Tyrone Tracy on my bench just in case, if anything happens. If you have him, he needs to be in your lineup this week. He's a workhorse without Skadaboo being in. Devin Singletary isn't taking many of the targets.
I forgot he was even there.
I was big Singletary guy last year.
So was I.
Tyrone Tracy stepped in out of nowhere, and he got a lot of clock. His receiving upside's a lot more. You saw Jackson Dart was thrown to Cam Skadaboo, and he's not really that receiving back type player, but Tyrone Tracy is going to get his reps in the receiving game for sure.
Listen, I like Tyrone Tracy. I didn't keep him, but that's because my team's too good. I got too much depth.
Okay.
But I had to throw it out there. So I didn't have no room for Tyrone Tracy Jr. too. But I do. I like where you're going, man. Where you going, number 3?
This kind of follows one of my blades last week. I went with Roman Dunze. I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams this week.
Listen, I will just say, and I have proof that if you look at, I have 7 best ball teams and that I drafted. And by the way, if you're not in the best ball, I highly recommend that. It's too late now, but next year, just do as much best ball as you can. Number 1, it prepares you for the draft, and number 2, it's fun as hell. You just draft your team and you're done. You never do another thing. Every single one, 2 quarterbacks I have, because you obviously draft at least 2 in best ball: Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams. And everybody told me, Oscar, why do you like Patrick Mahomes? He's not going to do it. Why do you like Caleb Williams? Man, Ben Johnson. Dude, Ben Johnson's an offensive guru. And as soon as he starts to put it all together and you see it, right? You see it week in, some inconsistencies that's going to happen. But I like Caleb, man. What do you like about him this week?
It's going to be high score. It's going to be a shootout with the Bengals. Obviously, Joe Flacco's balling. That whole team's balling. But, I mean, again, that Bengals secondary, I will continue to preach it, is putrid. They are terrible. And those wide receivers are going to feast. I even think DJ Moore is going to have a pretty solid game. But you see with Caleb Williams, he's throwing around 25 to 30 attempts per game, even more, sometimes even more than that. Ben Johnson's getting ways to throw the ball. I really do love that connection between him and Adunze, and I think he's got a big week this week.
I like it, man. I mean, look, you're starting to see even Colston Loveland's getting to get more involved, yes. Right? Luther Browden's getting more involved. DeAndre Swift is looking well. Everything's starting to click out there, man. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take time. It's going to be week in and week out. But man, when they click, they're going to click. And for you, looks like it's going to be this week. All right, hope so. Who we fading, man?
First fade, I'm going with Khalil Shakir.
Wow, listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. My man Japan's gonna watch this, and he is not gonna like that you're fading Khalil Shakir. Why are you fading Khalil Shakir?
I like Khalil Shakir. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not. I just the Chiefs. That defense is always solid with Spagnuolo out there, but he'll still get you a solid 8 to 12 points. I'm not denying that. But that game he had last week, not a fluke, but it was a busted coverage on his touchdown. He had a lot of screenplays. So he's really more of a boomer bust kind of guy. And I just don't think you'll see that 20 to 25 point range against the Chiefs. I think you'll see more of an 8 to 12 range this week with him.
Listen, I like that you point that out, because a lot of people, when they look at fantasy, they don't look at those garbage touchdowns or blown coverages, and I get it, there's still points, but I was actually wrong, because I came in this year predicting that Khalil Shakir was not only going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Bills, but he was going to be so consistent as a PPR guy all over the place. But what's changed is James Cook.
James Cook is playing out of his
mind. He
is,
and now they just keep feeding him and hey, man, I think it's cool. I like James Cook, but it's killing my Shakir value, right? But Keon Coleman, forget about it. He's like a disciplinary scratch every other quarter, it seems like. So, listen, I get it. Who you got next?
I hate to say it.
Oh, come on.
I hate to say it. CJ Stroud is one of my faves this week.
Stroud.
You guys don't know how much I really do love CJ Stroud. I have a jersey and everything. I love the guy. But
if AJ's brother and my other son was here right now, Chris, and he's going to watch us on replay, he's going to be shaking his head. Oh, what's going on? We're going to hear about this. We're going to hear about this.
Even Tommy, because at work I was always talking to Tommy about CJ Stroud. But yeah, this week, like I said, I previewed this. I hate quarterbacks against Denver. You saw it with Dak Prescott last week. And a lot of people might insert CJ Stroud, still with bye weeks coming up, but they see those 20-point games that he's had recently. He's been playing pretty well without his healthy wide receivers, but I just don't think that Denver's going to let these guys that are lower end tier wide receivers have their way like they did against San Francisco last week.
Yeah, listen, man, I get it. There is definitely something about that mile high air out there, right? The density or something about it. I get it. Surtain's out. But however, they have one of the most prolific and veteran D coordinators in Vance Joseph, who's out there, who always finds a way to get it done. And they're, again, I can't say it enough. And I think Nico, I mean, he was concussion protocol, so he might be out again. And right, so if he's out again, I mean, I don't even know who he's throwing to. To be honest with you, man.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be
getting
tough.
rough
I
out
say
there
it.
in
I say
Houston,
it.
but
It's gonna be tough. Definitely. Who we got number 3?
last fade of this week, J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
I
So
got
same game,
yeah.
other side of the ball. What about J.K.?
I gotta give you props with that RJ Harvey take last week. I mean, you gotta be feeling good after that one.
I do. I listen. I do. And again, let me just say this: it's not just about feeling good about it, but anybody who tunes in, and I know your boys tune in, and people that follow me tune in, but can't always go by stats, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you like fantasy football is not all about stats and trends and all this. Dude, watch a press conference. Watch Thursday coach speak. Find out what they're doing in practice and understand who you're talking about. Like Sean Payton, I love Sean Payton. Everybody knows that. So I look at his past track record and how long it takes him to trust rookies. That's why JK's having a great year, because JK's entrusted by Sean Payton. However, it just takes a matter of time for him to want to open it up, just like he did in New Orleans with another running back. Remember, at one time they had 2 Pro Bowl running backs in 1 year, right? When Alvin Kamara was a rookie. So let's remember that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remember that. So he wants to elevate. So that's where I was. And I just felt everything scheme wise and what they were doing that week, it was going to be RJ Harvey week. I didn't predict double touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. But
triple touchdowns.
That's right. Triple
touchdowns.
Damn, that was a good call, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But I will say he's a big part of why I'm kind of fading J.K. Dobbins. I still think it's like a 60-40. RJ Harvey hasn't established himself yet to creep into that 50, 60, 70% range.
I don't think he will this year, by the way.
I don't think he will either, because JK, obviously, he's been playing really well. I just think his receiving upside is a little bit lower, even though, I mean, you look at the Broncos, Bo Nix has been on a tear these last couple weeks. That passing attack has been very, very good with him throwing a lot of touchdowns. I just don't see the running upside recently with J.K. Dobbins, and I think RJ Harvey. I think he's a better option as of now. As of now, I'm not saying rest of the season, but for now, I would stick with RJ Harvey over J.K. Dobbins.
You know why I really like that, and this is again, I do fantasy a lot different. I think of different scenarios. One thing Bo Nix was having a problem on in the beginning of the year was he was very erratic with the football, throwing the ball, forcing things, doing things unlike Bo Nix.
Threw a couple interceptions
right?
That weren't, yeah.
Right. And what and what's the best way? The best remedy to bring your quarterback back down to play? It's get those little wheel routes, out routes to running back. That's not J.K. Dobbins' territory.
That's RJ Harvey's territory.
Right. And Evan Ingram came back healthy. So now you have a tight end that's featured. You have a PPR back that's featured, and that's going to take J.K. Dobbins and take away about 5 touches a game. And if he's not catching the ball and he's getting the ball 18 times, now he's only getting 13.
And you have to rely on that touchdown aspect too, because he can get he can run for 100, 120 yards, but what is it going to get 10 to 12 points? You need that touchdown.
It's so key. And think about this way. As last thing I say, this is on the fly. So let's think about this. So you have 18 carries normally for J.K. Dobbins. Take 5 away from him, brings down to 13. Say he's averaging 4.5. Just say he's 5 yards per carry. Okay. Well, what's 5 times 13? That's 65. That means he's going to get you 65 yards, a ceiling of 80, no TDs. That's 7 to 8 points. Why? So you're absolutely right. So that's what you have to look at when you're talking about fantasy.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, it's towards the end. We didn't recap last week. We talked a little bit about Dak.
Yeah.
Right? But let's just real fast. How did we do overall last week?
Overall, Roman Dunze was a hit. He had
Big
a lot of catches, a lot of yards. Rashad White, not so much. A little bit on the weaker side. That Bucks game.
That was weird.
It was a weird game. I'm not scratching it, but Joe Flacco obviously hit. We talked about that. We hit on that. Jalen Waddle, man, it was really looking like I was going to hit on that, and he had that huge touchdown.
Where'd that come from? All of a sudden.
Tua plays bad all week. He has one eye to play with this week, and he's balling. So I don't know what happened there. It was a fluke.
I don't get it.
Who
would have thought, man?
If you stat Jalen Waddle because of me, I'm sorry. Just really didn't think he was going to have a big week. Ramondre Stevenson, didn't play that well. Played against the Browns. You know how stout that defense is.
Yep.
Like I said, Dak Prescott, you should have sat him last week.
That was good, man. It was good. So we got everything going on for week 9. We just recap week 8, man. I'm feeling with a fresh fade. My man, take us out. What we got?
Stay sharp going off that chair.
I'll catch you next week.